Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
And Friends on PBS Kids, where imagination and creative play fuel your child's journey. Lego Duplo, building sets for preschoolers.
Watching is learning. Orajel Training Toothpaste and Arm & Hammer Spin Brush Kids Toothbrushes. Proud supporters of Healthy Smiles and Thomas and Friends on PBS.
Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them, because you helped me to make them. Your loving, Daddy.
The island of Sodor is surrounded by beautiful blue sea. It has fields of green and sandy yellow beaches. There are rivers, streams, and lots of trees where the birds sing. There are windmills and a coal mine, and docks where visitors to the island arrive. The island also has lots and lots of railway lines. Who's that puffing down the track? It's Thomas! Hello, Thomas! Hello, everybody! Welcome to the island of Sodor.
It was a beautiful morning on the island of Sodor. Thomas the Tank Engine's blue paint sparkled in the sunshine as he puffed happily along his branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. He was feeling very pleased with himself. "Hello, Thomas," whistled Percy. "You look splendid." "Yes, indeed," boasted Thomas. "Blue is the only proper color for an engine." "Oh, I don't know. I like my brown paint," said Toby. "I've always been green. I wouldn't want to be any other color either," added Percy. Well, anyway," huffed Thomas, "blue is the only color for a really useful engine. Everyone knows that." Percy said no more. He just grinned at Toby. Later, Thomas was resting when Percy arrived. A large hopper was loading his freight cars full of coal. Thomas was still being cheeky. "Careful," he warned. Watch out with those silly cars. Go on, muttered the cars. And by the way, went on Thomas, those buffers don't look very safe to me. The last load poured down. Help, help, cried Thomas. Get me out. Percy was worried, but he couldn't help laughing. Thomas's smart blue paint was covered in coal dust from smokebox to bunker. Ha ha, chuckled Percy. You don't look really useful now, Thomas. You look really disgraceful. I'm not disgraceful, choked Thomas. You did that on purpose. Get me out. It took so long to clean Thomas that he wasn't in time for his next train. Toby had to take Annie and Clarabelle. Poor Thomas, whispered Annie to Clarabelle. They were most upset. Thomas was grumpy in the shed that night. Toby thought it a great joke, but Percy was cross with Thomas for thinking he had made his paint dirty on purpose. Fancy a really useful blue engine like Thomas becoming a disgrace to Sir Topham Hatt's railway. Next day, Thomas was feeling more cheerful as he watched Percy bring his cars from the junction. The cars were heavy and Percy was tired. Have a drink, said his driver. Then you'll feel better. The water column stood at the end of the siding with the unsafe buffers. Suddenly, Percy found that he couldn't stop. The buffers didn't stop him either. Oh, wailed Percy. Help! The buffers were broken, and Percy was wheel-deep in coal. It was time for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything. Now Percy has learned his lesson, too, he chuckled to himself. That night, the two engines made up their quarrel. I didn't cause your accident on purpose, Thomas, whispered Percy. You do know that, don't you? Of course, replied Thomas, and I'm sorry I teased you. Your green paint looks splendid again, too. In future, we'll both be more careful of coal.
All the engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway look different. Can you tell who this is? This engine has 2 big pairs of wheels, 5 small pairs of wheels, and a tall, thin funnel. What else can we see on this engine? It's the number 2. Can you remember which of Sir Topham Hatt's engines is number 2? Here's another clue. This engine is a beautiful bright blue color. Only one engine on Sodor has all those wheels, is blue, and wears the number 2. Do you know who it is? That's right. It's Edward. Hello, Edward.
Edward was getting old. His bearings were worn, and he clanked as he puffed along. He was taking empty cattle cars to a market town. The sun shone, birds sang. But Edward was heading for trouble. Come on, he puffed. Oh, oh, screamed the cars. Edward puffed and clanked. The cars rattled and screamed. Some cows were grazing nearby. They were not used to trains. The noise and smoke disturbed them. As Edward clanked by, they broke through the fence and ran across the line. A coupling was broken and some cars were left behind. Edward felt a jerk, but didn't take much notice. He was used to cattle cars. Bother those cars, he thought. Why can't they come quietly? He was at the next station before either he or his driver realized what had happened. When Gordon and Henry heard about the accident, they laughed and boasted. Fancy allowing cows to break your train. They wouldn't dare do that to us. We'd show them. Old Toby was cross. You couldn't help it, Edward. They've never met cows. I have, and I know the trouble they are. Some days later, Gordon rushed through Edward's station. Boop, boop. Mind the cows. Hurry, hurry, puffed Gordon. Don't make such a fuss. Don't make such a fuss, grumbled his coaches. A long stretch of line lay ahead. In the distance was a bridge. It seemed to Gordon that there was something on the bridge. His driver thought so too. Whoa, Gordon, he said and shut off steam. Whew, said Gordon. It's only a cow. Shoo! Shoo! He moved slowly onto the bridge, but the cow wouldn't shoo. She had lost her calf and felt lonely. Bleh, she said sadly. Everyone tried to send her away, but she wouldn't go. Henry arrived. What's this? A cow? I'll soon settle her. Be off! Be off! Bleh. Henry backed away nervously. I don't want to hurt her. At the next station, Henry's conductor told them about the cow and warned the signalman that the line was blocked. That must be Bluebell, said the porter. Her calf is here, looking for her mother. Percy will take her along. At the bridge, Bluebell was very pleased to see her calf again, and the porter led them away. Not a word. Keep it secret, whispered Gordon and Henry to each other. They felt rather silly, but the story soon spread. Well, 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 chuckled Edward. 2 big engines afraid of a cow. Afraid? Rubbish, said Gordon. We didn't want the poor thing to hurt herself by running up against us. We stopped so as not to excite her. You see what I mean, my dear Edward? Yes, Gordon, said Edward. Gordon felt somehow that Edward saw only too well.
Percy is ready to leave the station. He's busting his buffers with excitement. What's Percy pulling today? Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers. Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers and pineapples. Now Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers, pineapples, and a piano. Can you remember what Percy is pulling? Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers, pineapples, and a piano. I wonder what's next. Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers, pineapples, a piano, and presents. Can you still remember all the things Percy was pulling? Let's see. Percy pulls out of the station pulling passengers, pineapples, a piano, and presents. Can you guess where Percy is going? Percy is puffing his way to a party. Here are some dots. There are lots of engines on the Sodor Railway. If we join these dots, it will make the shape of one of them. Can you guess which engine it is? Off we go. There's the funnel. It's a tall one. And the dome? It's a large dome, isn't it? There's the cab. And the coal tender. Do you know which engine this is yet? Here are the wheels. And there are the buffers. It looks like a little engine, but it's an important one. That's right, it's Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Percy has run out of coal. He's sad because he can't go anywhere until another engine arrives with some more. Thomas wants to cheer his friend up. He's going to tell Percy a story. Thomas wants to use things around him in the story. See if you can help him. Thomas asks Percy which engine he wants the story to be about. A fast engine, peeps Percy. Thomas sees Toby, Mavis, and Gordon. Which is the fastest? That's right. Gordon is a fast engine. Thomas is going to make up a story about Gordon. Once there was a fast engine called Gordon, tooted Thomas. One day, he was steaming quickly to... Thomas asked Percy where he'd like Gordon to go. Somewhere exciting, peeps Percy. Thomas sees a field, a bus stop, and a poster for the circus. Which is the most exciting? That's right. The circus is the most exciting place. One day, toots Thomas, Gordon steamed quickly to the circus. He was very excited to see... Thomas asked Percy what Gordon should see. Something special, peeps Percy. Thomas sees coal cars, milk churns, and a Chinese dragon. Which is the most special? Yes, A Chinese dragon is very special. One day, Gordon steamed quickly to the circus, puffed Thomas. He was very excited to see the special Chinese dragon. Percy thought it was the best story he had ever heard. In fact, now Percy's going to tell Henry the story while he's waiting for his cold. Well done, Thomas.
Tonight,
One morning, Edward was waiting to pick up passengers from Thomas's train. Beep, beep. We're late. Where is Thomas? He doesn't usually make us wait. Oh, dear, what can the matter be? Sang the fireman. Johnny's so long, and never you mind about Johnny, laughed the driver. Just you climb on the cab and look for Thomas. Can you see him? No, replied the fireman. There's Bertie Bus in a tearing hurry. No need to bother with him, though. Likely he's on a coach tour or something. He clambered down. Stop! Stop! I've got Thomas's passengers, wailed Bertie, roaring up to the gates. It was no good. Edward was gone. Bother, said Bertie. Bother Thomas's fireman not coming to work today. Why did I promise to help the passengers catch the train? That will do, Bertie, said his driver. A promise is a promise, and we must keep it. I'll catch Edward or bust, said Bertie. Oh, my gears and axles, he groaned, toiling up the hill. I'll never be the same bus again. Hooray, hooray, I see him, cheered Bertie as he reached the top. Oh, no, Edward's at the station. No, he stopped at a crossing. Hooray, hooray. Bertie tore down the hill. Well done, Bertie, shouted his passengers. Go it. Bertie skidded into the yard. Wait, wait, cried Bertie. He was just in time to see Edward puff away. I'm sorry, said Bertie. Never mind, said the passengers. After him quickly. Third time lucky, you know. Do you think we'll catch him at the next station, driver? There's a good chance, replied the driver. Our road keeps close to the line, and we can climb hills better than Edward. I'll just make sure. He spoke to the station master. Bertie and the passengers waited impatiently. Yes, we'll do it this time, said the driver. Hooray! Called the passengers as Bertie chased after Edward once more. This hill is too steep, this hill is too steep, grumbled the coaches as Edward snorted in front. They reached the top at last and ran smoothly into the station. Beep, whistled Edward. Get in quickly, please. The conductor blew the whistle and Edward's driver looked back, but the flag didn't wave. Then he heard Bertie. Everything seemed to happen at once, and the station master told the conductor and driver what had happened. I'm sorry about the chase, Bertie, said Edward. My fault, replied Bertie. Late at junction, you didn't know about Thomas's passengers? Beep, beep. Goodbye, Bertie. We're off, whistled Edward. 3 cheers for Bertie, called the passengers. Bertie raced back to tell Thomas that all was well. Thank you, Bertie, for keeping your promise, said Thomas. You're a very good friend indeed.
They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play, round in the sheds or far away. Down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his friends. Thomas!
He's the cheeky one.
James!
His fame but lots of fun.
Percy!
Pulls a mail on time.
Gordon!
Thunders down the line.
Emily!
Really knows her stuff.
Henry!
Toots and huffs and puffs.
Edward!
Wants to help and share.
Toby! Well, let's say he's square. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play, round in the sheds or far away. Down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his friends. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight. Red and green and brown and blue, they're the really useful crew. All with different roles to play, round in the sheds or far away. Down the hills and round the bends, Thomas and his friends.
And Friend on PBS Kids, where imagination and creative play fuel your child's journey. Lego Duplo, building sets for preschoolers.
Watching is learning. Orajel Training Toothpaste and Arm & Hammer Spin Brush Kids Toothbrushes. Proud supporters of Healthy Smiles and Thomas & Friends on PBS.
Blah, 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 blah.
PBS